All right, so enough of that crystally bullshit that I was just talking about, okay? Let's move into our pops, all right? Some technical shit for the fucking real men out there, all right? So our pops, same idea. I'm getting myself out of the way, but we're going to define a pop as only moving one of our feet, okay? A pull will just define as both. If you have it like switched around at your gym on the other side of the country or other side of the world, fine. Don't at me being like, hey, Corey, actually, that's like, my coach calls that, like, I don't care, okay? Linguistics are just linguistics. I'm more interested not in like words and in like action of things and how things actually work. So our pop, we're gonna define as just moving one foot. Our pull, we'll define as using two, okay? When we use our pop, because assuming that we're starting in our good stance, when I do go to pop, I don't want to make this step super long. Like here, it feels like a little bit long, but I don't feel as athletic as if I was here, okay? And they're like really, really tiny, and that's okay, but you kind of have to feel in your body where you're most athletic because everyone has different strengths in different ranges of motion. Everyone has like different flexibility abilities and all of that. I would say that if you're popping and you're feeling like, ah, shit, I can't do anything in this stance, you're going too far with your back leg, okay? A pop, and you really don't even need to move that far out of the way, like assuming that they're either punching at your ear or behind your ear, which is the farthest that they'll try to punch you on your face, uh, and my face is even closer than that. I really only need to move like, I don't know, whatever this is, like 8 inches or so with this foot. When I do go to pop though, I do want to do it at a slight angle, and that's just a way to get myself out of trouble if the person does attack with multiple punches, because that is one of the downsides of a pop, is that I am like positioning myself in a little bit of a wider stance, and if someone does like overwhelm me, I can very easily get like pulled to being way out of position opposed to just a tiny bit out of position. So if I do it straight at the camera, the way that we're going to pop out of the way with just the 1 foot moving isn't going to be straight back, because like I said, if someone attacks with like 3 or 4 punches, I'm really not capable of moving. Where if I go off to the side, I'm giving myself a pretty big exit. And if I don't want to exit that way, at least the person has to square up with me and I can go the other direction afterwards. But that's like really nuanced. So I try not to get like too nuanced because really there isn't an all the time way to do things. And anyone that kind of like says that, I think personally, is super full of shit. And I try not to be full of shit as much as possible in life. So if I talk with like this unconfidence about things, it's not because I don't know what I'm talking about. It's because I do know that like life is really dynamic. Fighting is super dynamic. And like me being like, this is how you do it is not really my style because I think that it's not really true, okay? Anyways, when we're popping, we move ourselves a little bit out of the way. We're not taking a big giant step. It's a tiny step. I don't let my feet get really high like this. This is like not an athletic position. I'm not grounded into the floor. I can't really punch when I'm really high like this. When I pop, it's a tiny movement. I keep my head pretty much level. I mean, of course it's going to lower because my stance is widening, and I'm pushing off of my back foot to make it fast, okay? I can just lift this up, drop myself out of the way, and push back in order to come back. But the way that this is going to be like super agile and very fast is if I push myself, okay? That can be a really big deal because it's not just this letting myself fall, catch myself, push myself forward. It's a push and then a push again. It should happen like this. Push, push. That's how the pop should feel. The technical side of pops is really easy, okay? So we'll start really slow, like really easy, and then we'll get into a little bit more advanced and like dynamic ways of doing it. But me and Elias are partners. Elias, and if you have a partner, cool. If you don't have a partner, just do it on the bag. It's completely the same. If you don't have a bag, shadow box it. Completely the same, kind of. But I'm going to jab at Elias. And this is, when I throw this jab, the intention isn't to like really hammer home this jab. If I do sometimes like overextend on this jab, it can make it so that I put myself over my leg, which like I talked about earlier, is not the right idea when you're trying to make it so that you could push yourself backwards. So when I do throw this jab, I want to maintain a heavy amount of pressure on my front leg, but I don't want it to come up onto one leg. That's really important. So when I jab, I stay heavy here, not over it, so that I have the correct angle for me to push myself back. The first one that we'll start with is super easy. We're just going to jab, push myself back, step back in, and throw my jab. I'll go across your arms. Jab, push myself back, throw my jab. Jab, heavy here, not over it, but heavy. Push myself, and then jab. To do it a little bit faster, you just make these pushes a lot quicker. Jab, push, jab. Jab, push, jab. I'll go a little faster. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. I don't need to get super far out of the way. It doesn't need to be in order for me to go. The less, the better, because the more gap that I give, the slower I'm going to be able to close the distance. Even if I am fast and in position, the more space I have to cover, just downright is going to be slower. Jab, tiny, jab. Okay? Second one we'll do, super easy. Jab, pop, throw our cross. This one can get a little bit tricky because you don't want to like throw so much into this cross that you step yourself out of position and get yourself really high. You want to just do this to where my foot was. I want to move it back to where it was before it left. Jab, right foot steps. I get out of the way of whatever shit he throws at me. When I step back in, I step back to that same exact spot. I don't overextend like this. That's no good. Jab, back, back to that same spot. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. A lot of people wonder like what to do with the lead hand when you pull. If you want to play it like super safe, when I go backwards, I bring my hand back to my face. Boom, boom. If I do it, I'll go jab, pull, jab, or jab, pop, jab. Boom. If I want to make this jab like really fast though, if I'm going to do rewind a second, but if I want to jab back really quickly, this can sometimes feel slow, just like how throwing a double jab like this, and what I mean by like this means I bring it all the way back to my face, opposed to boom, boom, okay? If you want to play it safe, bring your hand back to your face. If you're a little bit more comfortable and you want it to be a little bit quicker, you just don't bring it back all the way to your face. Boom, boom. Same thing when I cross. Boom is sometimes a little slow. Boom, cross, okay? The last one that we'll do, so we have our jab, pop, jab, pop, cross. Last one we'll do is our jab, pop, kick, or our jab, pop, knee. This is like for the kickboxing people out there and for the MMA people. So when I do this, boom, this just loads up my back leg. It's gonna feel like you're doing it from a really wide stance. It's like if I was gonna jump, I wouldn't be like, and then jump in the air. I would just go low and spring up. Think about this the exact same. If you pop yourself out of the way and hang out here, it's going to feel like a really awkward thing to do because essentially what you're doing is almost like flinging yourself forward. So when this happens, it almost has to feel like that movement of wanting to jump in the air. Boom. And then throwing my round kick, or boom, throwing my right knee, or if you want to get real jiggy with it, is that how would you say that nowadays in your stupid guys' language? Liddy?
Yeah.
If you want to do it real liddy?
Yeah, say that.
No, how would you really say it?
I don't know, like that.
God, that sucks. But anyways, if you want to get real liddy with it, you could jab, boom, and then like spring into like a back knee or something like that, okay? But main idea, you're springing off of this so that you have power. You're not freezing and then trying to go because that can just sometimes be a little bit slower. Okay, so all of those techniques can be done with add-ons at the end of it, okay? So you can do jab, get yourself out the way, jab, And then like whatever other punches you want to do afterwards are cool, okay? I don't want to shit on this too much, so I'm gonna like tread really lightly. But when you see people on Instagram or you see things being coached in a certain way where they're essentially just throwing set combinations where it's like, I'll go jab, pop, two, hook, low kick. Boom, 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 hook, low kick. Like what you're doing there is you are practicing like a number of techniques, which is definitely a good thing, and you definitely do need to know how to do it. But where that ends is thinking that that's how fighting works. Fighting is not just a bunch of techniques like in combination. It's not like fucking Mortal Kombat where you hit A, X, Y, 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 and then it just like busts out some badass move and it fucking works. That's not how fighting works. Fighting is angles, fighting is space, fighting is position, and these types of things are really, really important to remember. So it's cool if you guys are doing this drill and we go jab, pop, cross, and you guys want to add on, like that's completely cool. I would say, depending if you're actually in like the heat of fighting and not just like a hobbyist, like give like a proper response that your opponent is going to give. Like if he's like a wrestler and I jab, pop, cross, I maybe don't want to tee off a big combination and be in range so that this person can shoot, okay? Maybe I want to just like lower my level so that in case he does shoot, I'm there, okay? If you are like a hobbyist, that's okay too. But don't turn into like a brain dead person that has memorized a bunch of combinations and thinks that when you go out to sparring, you're gonna hit this combination that you've been practicing all week. Like, that's cool, but again, that's not how fighting works because that can really easily have a wrench be thrown into it. So I'm not saying don't do that, but I'm saying just understand that as a modality to learn. It's not actually what's happening. There's a ton of other dynamic and complex things like space, position, advantages, angles, timing, all kinds of shit that is really, really important to understand on top of that. And that type of learning is just a modality. It's not the end of it. But I'm not saying don't do it. So jab, pop, jab, boom. If I want to add some stuff at the end of it, great. Jab, pop, cross, boom. If I want to add some stuff at the end of it, I totally can. Jab, pop, kick, boom. I can definitely add whatever I want after it, but don't make it about all of those things. Make it about me jabbing, Elias is giving me a response that I want. Boom. The opening is going to be different all the time. Sometimes it's going to be here. Sometimes it's going to be here. If in my head I'm thinking jab, pop, I'm about to hammer this fucking cross home, and his hand is up or something, you're doing bad martial arts. If you jab, pop, and I see where whatever opening is there, and then hitting whatever openings are available, that's good martial arts. So without trying to shit on it too much, just don't let that be the end of your learning, and definitely don't think that that's how fighting works, or else you're just going to get fucked up. Okay, so let's talk about how to drill this in like kind of a progressive way, starting at most basic and then moving into our more advanced way of drilling this. So the first way that we're going to practice is just simply by doing a round of numbers. And if you don't know what numbers is, that's okay. Pretty much what numbers is it's just every gym and every part of the world has their own way of doing things. And then like they get into weird arguments about like how to actually do it right when there is actually no way of doing it right. So what I mean by that is like here at this gym at High Altitude Martial Arts, shout out High Altitude Martial Arts, just kidding. We do like our 1 is our jab, our 2 is our jab cross, our 3 is our jab cross hook, our 4 is our jab cross hook cross. And then like it branches out into a number of different combinations and stuff like that. But then also at other gyms they teach where it's like singly, that's not the right word to say that, but for example, like a 2-3-2 is a cross hook cross, where here that would be like a 1-2, 1-2-3, 1-2. Neither one are right. It's just like a way to organize combinations that you can actually get like good work and learn in a fashion that's just a little bit more applicable instead of being like jab, cross, hook, cross, uppercut, which just can be too much information. So anyways, numbers with our pops and then our counters. To start slow, just come back with, after the pop, we're just going to come back with our jab. So if I call like a 3 for Elias, he hits his 3, he gets himself out the way, and then he comes back with his jab. 3, gets himself out the way, comes back with his jab. If I call 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, pops, comes back with his jab. Okay, we can change that obviously to the cross too. So if it's like 2, cross, 3, gets out the way, cross. So you're practicing like throwing a little bit of offense, getting yourself out of the way with the technique that we just learned, which is our pop, and then coming back with whatever, okay? Or whatever, like if you want to cross, jab, kick, whatever it is that you're practicing specifically, doing it with a number in front. Another interesting way to practice this thing in specific, pops and pulls, is to make a reaction with our hands, okay? When we're fighting, what's happening is we're not understanding words and then acting. We're seeing things and then acting. So being able to train your eyes is really, really important. It's great to like have numbers, say you can hear something, you could hit it, but also it's like a really good way to learn of me being like, and just knowing what each of these means. So when we're doing numbers with a reaction after our pop, here's what I mean by that. Elias is going to throw his 3, he's going to pop, and then whatever hand I hold up is what he's going to come back with. Here, 3. He knew it was a jab because I held this hand up. 2. He knew it was a cross because I held this up. 4. He knew it was a kick because I went like this. 2. 4. So that will train you so that you're not just learning by verbal things, you're learning by actually being able to see and hit things, which is a lot more realistic. So I would recommend doing things in that way. Okay, so that's our numbers with our pop and then our counter. Another way to make this drill a little bit more advanced is me and Elias are going to be here. Let's keep it pretty basic to start. Me and Elias are kind of just giving a little bit of dummy motion. We're not doing a ton, but Elias is going to punch at me. I'm going to pop and then come back with my counter. Punches at me again. I pop. I come back with my counter. Boom. I went a little bit early there. That's okay. Boom. I try to do it when he does it, not on my own terms. Boom. Boom. That way I can get good again at seeing his body move, practice this pop, and then come back. Another way to progress into this is just adding a little bit more offense on my end. So I'm throwing punches, and again, what's really important in this is that you keep this left leg fairly heavy. Not like this heavy, but like an ability to be able to push back, where if Elias was like, hey, move back now, you definitely could, okay? So as I'm throwing these punches at Elias, just trying to get a response from him, when he does, I'm able to pull myself back and then counter with a cross, a jab, or whatever combination you want to do. But I'm touching. I have to be able to do this in a way where I can actually like make a read with my body. So if I'm throwing my cross and I'm like this, I cannot push back super quick. All of my punches are really close to my body so that I can get myself out of the way really quickly. Boom, 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 boom. That's the way that you'll progress into that. Past that, that's going to be like pretty advanced stuff. Just make it as dynamic as you want. Me and Elias are both punching at each other. Boom, I could parry, I can interrupt them, I can crash, and then when I want to, I could pop myself out the way and counter with whatever from there. Boom, boom. But I'm also adding in like a lot more modalities too, or not modalities, but techniques. And that would be the way that we would progress past there. Good? All right. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please make sure that you like and subscribe below. If you guys want to see more stuff like this, please comment. Let me know what you guys want to see more of, and I can make more of that content. If you found this helpful and you want to learn more, I just dropped my first. I did it again. What is wrong with me? If you found this helpful and you want to learn more, I just dropped my first instructional series. Make sure that you guys hit the link below. Finally, shout out to my sponsor Sheath that made all of this content possible. Peace.